So everyone, welcome at last to Shred It. And what is Shred It? Well, it's a papercraft styled endless runner, a papercraft snowboard styled endless runner. Hence the name Shred It. It's a cute pun. Instead of shredding snow with our snowboards, we are in fact shredding paper. The art style is probably the biggest draw of the game. Shred It isn't a very complex game, even by endless runner standards, but we're still going to go through all of the mechanics, of course, because this game is worth talking about. So firstly, in Shred It, we are not stuck on rails, as you may be with many other 3D endless runners. We can move freely left to right. The controls have momentum to them, and each snowboarder we play as does have slightly different handling. Note I said slightly. If we press the X button at the edge of a ramp, such as we did back there, we will perform a trick. Tricks, among other things we can do while snowboarding, give us paper clips, which we can use in the store to buy new clothes for our character. This present contains a sticker. When we fill up a sticker row back in the shop as well, we unlock new boards, and we can also sell duplicate stickers for yet more paper clips. Jumping through hoops like that also gives us more paper clips, as you might have been able to guess, and these golden leaves we snatch out of the air. If we get 3 of them, we get a leaf bonus whenever we finish one of the stages. We can also jump on owls to get more paper clips. So basically everything we do during a run in Shred It is to get more paper clips so we can buy new clothing and boards for our characters. Here's that leaf bonus I was referring to. We don't get the leaf bonus if we don't collect all 3 golden leaves before a stage ends. We are now on stage 2. There are 5 stages in total, and then they start to loop. So you may be thinking, alright, everything you collect or do gets you paper clips to buy clothing, but is there a measure of score? And of course there is. All these leaves and snowflakes we are picking up add to our score counter, which you can see in the upper right. Collecting leaves and snowflakes also gets us paper clips, though. The game also keeps track of how far we've shredded, so that's also another measure of score, if you want to go by that. As you may have seen a couple of times, there are also acorns that we can kick into the air and away from the rodents trying to get them. If the rodents grab them before we get to them, then we will run into the rodent and wipe out. We get 2 lives per run, but we can expend paper clips to extend our run if we run out of lives. I don't recommend doing that though. You just start another run. So if you're wondering about the alternate clothing, most of the characters I've already decked out with alternate clothing, like Parker here. He's wearing the punk outfit, and he has a snowboard that depicts a sunset, which I think is quite pretty. As for the actual game mechanics, aside from collecting things, there's your basic endless runner stuff. You can jump a single time, you can duck under some obstacles, and that's about it. That's all you really need. Shred It is not a complex game, even by endless runner standards. You know, you collect stuff, you jump and duck under obstacles, and that's it. It's a pretty relaxing game. After you get a handle on the way the snowboards control and the momentum the characters have, it's smooth sailing for most of the time. So you might figure a game this simple, probably best to be played in short bursts. But actually, upon first receiving this game, I played it for a good 4 to 6 hours straight. I know that may seem a little surprising, but it's the kind of game it's easy to get lost in, I think, sort of like a Bit Trip runner. Everything about Shred It is aggressively pleasant. The music is beautiful, the art style is beautiful, the sound when picking up leaves and snowflakes is quite rewarding. There are a lot of secondary collecting mechanics in play to make it even more fun to do runs. You get stickers that you can sell to buy more useful stuff. There's just enough. That's probably how I would put the game mechanics. There's just enough. This being an endless runner, of course, the obstacles are randomly generated. That being said, you're going to be seeing the same obstacle patterns over and over. If that's the kind of thing that bothers you, then, you know, I guess that's the kind of thing that bothers you. Some new obstacles appear as the game goes on, such as what do you call those? Yeah, pits. Those giant pits we had to jump over. or ice that if we touch will reverse our controls, or bears that will swat us out of the air. And there's some cute minor details, like sometimes the bears will be sleeping and they won't swat you, but the awake bears will swat you. Also, important to note, you can move your character while they're in the air or sliding. Only slightly, but you can do that, which you might want to know. Makes things a lot easier to have that knowledge. Alright, we're now entering the 5th and final stage. It's very pretty. Very bright, also. This stage is the hardest, as to be expected, given it is the final stage. We see almost every hazard we've seen up until this point. Obstacles are a lot more frequent. And there are also new kinds of giant pits. I'm not sure if we'll see them, but there are. There they are, right here, over to the left, and now over to the right. So yeah, this is pretty much the whole game. It looks pretty, it feels very good to control, it's beautiful, I like it a lot. Can't think of a single thing I really dislike about it. Kinda spoke to me, it's very wholesome, very pleasant. Can't think of anything really wrong with it. Of course, there's more to talk about than just the game itself, which is why this is a Let's Play instead of a one-off video, but I wanted you to see the game mechanics and the beauty of the game before we got into anything else. Because even though it is a very simple game, it is manufactured to be satisfying, and it looks so beautiful. The levels have started looping. Now we're back to an earlier stage. But yeah, that's a pretty good endless run of Shred It. We got to see all 5 stages. And now that we have wiped out, we will switch characters to Jessie, who I have also decked out. But first we'll go back to the shop, so you can see what the shop looks like. Shop is very warm looking, very cozy. We can see Eric there behind the counter. Over here is our sticker wall, and we can sell duplicates of stickers, like this, for paper clips, which we again can use to buy new clothing and boards. And now we're gonna go and switch over to Jessie. Can go to the dressing room and switch between characters and their outfits. I've already given Jessie the outfit and board I like most for her, so we're all good to go. We just have to press play. So you may have noticed about this game's user interface. It looks a lot like a mobile game. And, well, this is technically a port of a mobile game that I am playing on my PlayStation 4. But, on the bright side, you shouldn't be bitching, because it's a very good port of a mobile game. It's done something that I've constantly asked of mobile game developers, and I feel like it should be praised for that. Firstly, the microtransactions are removed, and in place of the microtransactions, there is a skill-based reward system. In the original Shred It, to unlock characters, you simply had to either grind forever or pay real money. But in Shred It on the PS4, you unlock characters by completing challenges. So, it's a really good port, is what I'm saying. The graphics are also noticeably nicer than the phone version, which in itself is pleasant. But yes, this is in fact a port of a phone game, but to the extent that it feels like it was reworked for console. The removal of microtransactions and the replacement of microtransactions with skill-based rewards, that's really all you can ask for in a mobile port. And that's what I want for every mobile port. I think we need more mobile ports to console, but I think we need more high-effort mobile ports to console, like this one, where they actually put effort into transitioning it to a new medium. Because this is all I want from mobile games getting brought to console. I want to pay a flat rate up front and have the microtransactions replaced with reasonable skill-based rewards instead. That's what I want. So all in all, I feel this game is less like a straight port and more like a definitive version of the game. Like if you're going to play a version of Shred It, it would probably be this one, because they tweaked a lot of things for the console release. If you want to play the mobile version of Shred It, you can. It's free on the store right now, but it's not as good. It has touch controls for one thing, and for another thing, there are microtransactions, and the skill-based reward system is missing. Also, everything in the mobile version costs more paper clips, which blows. Your mileage toward this game probably varies immensely depending on how much you like endless runners and how well the art style appeals to you. The art style appeals to me immensely, and I am a big fan of endless runners. I am especially a big fan of endless runners that don't glue me to rails. And this game may not have a lot to its gameplay, but it has a generally warm feeling. From the paper shop to the character designs, it's very charming. I guess lovely and innocent would be good ways to describe this game. You know, it's non-violent, it's cute, it's sweet, it's pretty. Lots of pleasant adjectives. This game does make me curious, though, why more games have not done this paper craft style. I know of Tearaway and Crayon Chronicles, but it doesn't seem like a lot of games went for this kind of paper craft look, which is a shame. Maybe it's just a really hard look to pull off, that's always a possibility. But I think it looks quite beautiful. I think maybe more games should attempt that if the artistic director and budget is up for it. Also, the idea of combining paper crafts with snowboarding is just inherently adorable. You know, look at the way the snowboard interacts with the paper. It's just so cute, and Jesse's dead. I'm sorry, Jesse. Alright, now that Jesse's run has ended, we are going to do one more run. This time we are going to use a character with a special ability. Parker and Jesse did not have special abilities, but some of the characters do. And the next character we will play with does have a special ability. The next character is Rufus, and he is a dog. And just like Jesse and Parker, I've already chosen an outfit and snowboard for him that I think looks quite good. Yeah, that's the stuff. He's got a golden snowboard and he's dressed up all fancy. As you can see, we unlocked him by getting 1,000 leaves, 2 acorns in a single run, and we reached stage 3. No microtransaction required. We unlocked him simply by playing the game well. Skill-based reward system, unique to the console version. Anyway, Rufus handles almost exactly like Parker and Jesse, but Rufus has the special ability of scaring away those rodents that go after the acorns. So that way he is guaranteed to get the acorns. This is very helpful because those acorns are worth 5 paper clips each. It's very useful to have that ability around at all times. There are other characters with other special abilities, such as a Snowman, which his controls do not get reversed when he runs over ice, and some penguins that do not need to duck. You'll see the Snowman, but not the penguins, because I don't think they're particularly important or fun to play with. As for which character is my favorite to play as, I'm not sure. Probably the super secret special character that I don't want to spoil. But yes, this game is quite beautiful, no? I think if nothing else, you can say that about it. I also do like that each character has their own animations, but I suppose that's to be expected given they are different characters. There's just so much nice. So much nice in this game. It's not the kind of game that you could really analyze or talk about to an extensive degree. But as is evidenced by the fact that I played it for 4 to 6 hours upon first receiving it, I would say it has some legs, at least if you're into this kind of game. The combination of the pleasant music, the art style, and charming characters means I'm probably going to be playing this game until I 100% it, which will take some time. I have to fill out the entire sticker board, I have to buy all the outfits and snowboards, so it'll probably be a while. I'm not going to make you watch me 100% the thing, of course, no. We're going to play just enough of it for you to get an adequate feel of what the entire game is like, and talk about the developer and how the game was received and such. Speaking of how the game was received, the answer is not well. I don't know what I expected, but normally when I see trailers for games like this, I expect to see a bunch of dislikes, I expect to see a bunch of people being negative. But in this case, I just couldn't buy it. I just couldn't. Like, what's the beef with this one? What's wrong with this game? Like, what in particular, when you look at this game, is there to bitch about? What about this game looks offensive or irritating? Why this one in particular? Even by the most superficial standards, this game is nice, because a lot of this game's appeal is superficial. Is it the lack of depth in the game mechanics? Because the trailer is only like a minute long. So I'm not sure how you would get the lack of depth in the game mechanics from watching that trailer. But you could make an argument that the game mechanics aren't complex enough. That being said, I'm not sure why you would want to make the game mechanics more complex, because it would ruin the atmosphere and vibe that Shredded has going for it. It would be an entirely different game if the mechanics were more complex. Also, it just feels good to play. There's a really nice rhythm, the controls are very responsive. The sound effects give very satisfying feedback. Characters make cute sounds. I'm basically just saying the game is nice over and over, but it's true. I also really like the music, even though there are only 2 music tracks, and I fucked that up. Even though there are only 2 music tracks, I have not gotten tired of the music. It's very well designed to not be grating on repeat listens. If there is one area I think the game could be improved without too much extra effort, it would be that I wish there were more things to buy with paperclips. And I don't mean new outfits or boards, there are plenty of those. I mean, like, music tracks. Because even though I like the music tracks and it doesn't bother me to listen to the same music tracks over and over, I think having additional music tracks that you could buy in the shop would add even more replay value to the game. And it would make sense because the store owner, the store manager, Eric, is always wearing headphones. So it'd be nice if he had like a personal collection of CDs you could browse and buy. I just think that'd be cool. It's really like a personal wish list kind of thing, though. It feels kind of sad to me, you know, that after I 100% this, there just isn't going to be any more of it. There won't be a Shredded 2. That just feels kind of sad, because I think there's a lot of potential to expand on this. To expand on the universe of Shredded, create new charming characters, and add more to the shop. Alright, that's it for the first video. Gonna sell some stickers and call it done for now, and next time we'll check out the second game mode, which is Checkpoint Challenge, which is entirely different and more goal-focused than Endless mode. I'll see you then.